hi there everyone, welcome along to another Shed Chat live stream here with the Jenny Monday Club. It's really good to see you, and this live stream was advertised as actually having special guest of Brian, and unfortunately Brian hasn't been able to make it, so just to let you know that it was trailed ahead to be with Brian, but he's not here unfortunately. He had to go away, do something else, got some work to do. So, anywho, let's get on with it. And today's topic, let me see if I can just, yeah, that's a little bit better. What I actually wanted to talk about is, when is too many models too much? Now, I can almost hear you shouting, never! You can never have too many models. But this is a two-pronged question, there we are. So, a bit of a fork analogy going on. Well, at least a toasting fork or a pitchfork. But essentially, A, can you have too many models? And actually, I would say yes, potentially. But also, I want to talk about, have all the most commercially successful models already been released? That's to say that the prototypes that haven't yet been released are ones which are less and less likely to get released because for whatever reason they don't have that appeal to make mass marketability profitable for the manufacturers. So let's have a look at who's in the chat room. We've got East Lancs Hell, hello to you. Model 84, evening Jenny, we'll need to watch later's off out. Boo, you getting the ScotRail Class 43 HST. No, I'm afraid that HST is something which never really tickles my buttons. That said, if Hornby sends me one to review, we'll review it, and certainly if it turns up in the original livery or even Intercity Swallow livery, it will be absorbed into stock. But it's one of those things, it's like Class 47s or another one, and they just don't really appeal to me. But you know, never say never, but no immediate plans. Nathan Delay, hello to you. Tony Britton, evening Jenny and the Monday Club crew, evening to you. Otis JB, hi to you. Gamehammer Classic Gaming, when you can't get into your train room because it's full of models, that's when you have too many. Well, no, because you just need to find alternative storage arrangements. And right up until I built Weir Yard, it has to be said that I had to do just that. I mean, I had Bolton Trinity Road, and because of the break-in a number of years ago, I never felt empowered enough to be able to leave any stock out there, so I had to find other arrangements, so a lot of display cabinets, things like that. But now I've got Weir Yard with a hidden fiddle yard, lots of siding space. It does mean that I can accommodate a lot more of that stock. East Lancs Hell, Jenny, I have about 955. Oh, and the Jenny Monday Club mug has arrived. There you are. Get your own merchandise at Teespring. And Wilson the Butler, aka Zoe, has brought me in an extra can of today's tipple of choice is Strongbow Dark Fruits. That's what I've gone for. That's what I'll be getting slowly inebriated with, which basically means that I get more and more talkative, a little bit more silly as we go along. And I actually already have a can on the go. There's the camera.
Here's one that I drank earlier.
Yeah, so it said here's one I drank earlier. But yeah, East Lancs Hell, 955. I presume that's locomotives. That is a lot of locomotives. I had at last count approximately 170, which is still quite a lot. And if you've seen some of the footage from progress on Weir Yard, you'll have seen the shelf that I built that contains some 60 or 70. Oh, apparently Teddy is coming to enjoy the fray. Hello, Teddy. Oh, Teddy, you've drunk all my booze. Teddy, you're going to be banished to the back room now. So
Teddy has a message for you. That's why he came in.
What's that? Little Jimmy fell down the well? Oh, little Jimmy got pushed down the well by you? Oh, that's not very nice. Oh, everybody should buy the Jenny Monday Club merchandise from Teespring. Yes, actually, that is a very, very good idea. And also, don't forget that you can buy all my books. Anyway, Ted, what's that, Teddy? You're very, very tired, and you're going to wave goodbye to all these people, and then going to be put back safely in the back room. Now, Teddy, is approximately the same age as me, and Teddy was bought for me by my grandparents when they came up to visit my mum after she'd given birth to me 40 years ago. So I believe that Teddy may have been purchased at Strensham Motorway Services in 1979, and that's where Teddy comes from. Fully flame-o-matic. I think if Teddy were to accidentally set himself on fire, he gives off cyanide fumes because he's filled with that old-fashioned foam that got banned because it burns and gives off cyanide. But hey, Berry120, hello, interesting topic. Yeah, I thought so as well. And it's something that does come up from time to time. People going, oh, I've got so much stuff. But Nathan Delay, how did you get interested in trains? This question does come up quite a bit. And it's basically a case of my father looking for an excuse to get his model train set out of the loft and set up to play with. And I was the one. I'm the middle of 3 daughters, and I took the bait. And spent a great many years sat on the sidelines, a little hand to kind of, no, Jenny, don't touch Daddy, he'll show you how it works. And then my mum would peer around the door and go, Les, for she is Welsh, Les, are you letting her have a go? Okay, I'm in danger of turning into Apu when I do a Welsh accent, I don't know why. But that's how it all got started. Oh gosh, the comments are coming in thick and fast. I'm just going, oh, no. I pressed the button. No, didn't want to do that. But yeah, that's how it happened. Hi, Jenny from the USA. It's Sean Standiford. Hunts Heath Model Railway. Good evening to you too. East Lancs Hell. I have broken my foot falling from a steam locomotive tender. Oh, ouch. Oh, you have our sympathies. Now, you need to take care. Take it easy, play with lots of trains, be weighted on hand and foot, and also I think what you probably need is to buy yourself one of the Jenny Monday Club merchandise mugs from Teespring. There we are, that shows up in a multitude of different colours, so you can drink your special brew from it whilst you recover. But let's have a look. Leslie Gilpin, good evening, Jenny and chums. Yeah, chums. Now that's a word we need to put back into common usage. Devans GWR, hi to you. Mark Herbert, hi Jen, my wife says I have too many locos. Yeah, partners do say that quite a bit. They don't know what they're talking about. My partner has too many games. She's going to comment now. Game Hammer Classic Game will say, no, nobody ever had too many games. You can probably see some of them back here. PlayStation 2 games. There's also, let's have a look. We got Mega Drive games here as well. Fantastic Dizzy. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Earthworm Jim. Anybody remember that? Groovy. But we're going off topic a bit there. Let's have a look. Yes, Berry 120, of course, the obvious exception to all the good models being created already are potential models of locos that don't exist. Yes, I was going to get onto this. And I'm probably right in saying that any new locomotive or item of rolling stock that's come through on the prototype railways very, very quickly gets made in model form. I'm not aware particularly of anything in particular that either hasn't been or isn't planned to be. But what I'm generally talking about is models, we're going back to, sort of pre-grouping, pre-nationalisation and the earlier BR period, even later BR period. I mean, there are locomotives like, for example, Class 6 diesel shunter. We've not had a decent model of that. And I'm trying to think of some other good examples. Yeah, Class 81, 82, 83, 84, and I know we had an 85. Things like that we're still waiting on. But essentially, are they commercially viable? I would say some of them are, some of them aren't. And if there was a magic formula to decide which were commercially viable and which weren't, and it was correct every time, then they'd all get made. But, sometimes you get a curveball. You get things like City of Truro was made initially as a special commission for the National Railway Museum. Now, the real City of Truro does survive, occasionally runs. It passed into preservation. It certainly went into the museum, the Transport Museum, in the 1930s, I believe. And whilst all of the other members of the class were scrapped in GWR days, certainly City of Truro is technically the only one to pass into the BR period and beyond. They made this model, sold really well. They did another run of it, sold really well. And I think they may even be on have had 3 runs of City of Truro. But then Bachmann put out in the main range City of Bath, City of London, and City of Birmingham is another one that I've seen. There may be others. And they have sold reasonably well, actually. But by rights, as a locomotive that there's only really City of Truro left, you wouldn't have thought they'd sell well. And then we've got like DP2, a very short-lived locomotive, but it has appeared in model form and I believe has been reasonably successful. Falcon, locomotives like that appeared in model form and have been reasonably successful. So you never can tell. Then there's others, things like the Midland Compound, initially a National Railway Museum Special Commission, but it doesn't seem to have sold quite so well as the likes of City of Truro. It has the pretty livery and survived on into it actually ran in BR days. But even though Bachmann have released it in LMS liveries, BR liveries, it always seems to end up remaindered. And actually the Drummond 700 class that Hornby have done, that too seems to suffer a similar fate. So you never really can tell. Berry 120, though some of the new ones are a bit ugly, a bit out of the modern scene. It doesn't really interest me. So I don't know. Some are, some aren't. But then again, the Q1's a bit of an ugly duckling, but it kind of got a charm that grew on it. Class 22s as well. I quite like them. Old Sad Eyes. This stuff is very refreshing. I'm not sponsored in any way by Strongbow Dark Fruit. But also don't forget you can become a Patreon of the channel and help me purchase more dark fruits to get very wasted on. And also there's Super Chat, bloody blah, you know all about that. But hey, let's have a look. Sean Sandyford, this... what happened? It just jumped. It's... Oh, here we are. Sorry, it just like jumped and I lost my place in the chat. The Growler, Blackwood, N-gauge layout. Good evening all. Frank Doyle, how many has Teddy had? Too many. Teddy is a lightweight, and also he's got a vision issue because his glass eyes. He's been round through the washing machine in my younger days because he was loved an awful lot, and taken to bed and snuggled, and so was surreptitiously prized from my arms and sent through the washing machine from time to time. And it does mean that washing machine drums can be a little bit harsh on Teddy's glass eyes, so they've got a little bit sort of like cataracty. So he doesn't see so well now, but he does like a drink. Anyway, he's mad as cheese anyway, even at the best of times. Let's have a look. East Lancs Hell, lot of models are in their boxes because of the move, so I need new shelves. I actually recommend, and again, no connection to Picture Pride displays, but I've got a lot of Picture Pride displays as display cabinets. They do a lot of shows. I've seen them at Ali Pally, Worley, York Model Railway shows. So they do get about. They're very well made cabinets. They are airtight as well, so you don't have to dust your stock. And they're expensive, but really high quality. And I've got... let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 Picture Pride display cabinets around the house, plus a number of others. And actually, I rate the Picture Pride display cabinets as being the best, even though you do pay a lot more for them. And that's a good way of actually displaying a lot of rolling stock. So you can get around this like, I've got too much because I've got nowhere to put them. And I like to display things. I'm a firm advocate that if it's boxed away and you can't see it, and that's a permanent state effect, house moves notwithstanding, it's a necessity. But I like to be able to see stuff, even if it is in a cabinet. And I was getting very pushed on that before I built Weir Yard. Now I've built Weir Yard. It's very much eased the situation because you saw the video how to build building the fiddle yard for 70 plus. Bachmann Mark 1 coaches, that kind of stuff. You know, obviously, the Hornby Mark 1s, Hornby Gresleys, Hawksworths, Monsell coaches, all of these do fit in there as well. But yeah, there's about 70 odd down there now. There is space to expand 3 of the sidings, make them longer. Yet to do, need the wood to do that and the track. So I could store probably another 30 coaches down there. But then it begs the question, will there be coaches that'll be in the darkened recesses of my hidden fiddle yard and may actually never turn a wheel for years, let alone never be seen? And is that the equivalent of being boxed away, never to be seen? I don't know. Nathan Delay, hello to Sean Sandyford. Hi to you. This weekend, my very good friend gave me 3 boxes of trains and rolling stock. Score! Leslie Gilping, an upcoming task is to list my passenger and freight stock. Ooh, never add up how much you've spent. Trust me, it's like, how much? And certainly don't let your other half see the figures. They'll be like, how much have you been spending on this? Leslie Gilpin, I still think of this as 5 o'clock club. Older YouTubers might remember that it's the kids show. Yeah, it's Howdy Doody Time. Is that it? Is that the one, Howdy Doody Time? Hunts Heath Model Railway. Oh no, Strensham Services 1979, the days when the M5 was 2 lanes. I actually remember that, going down to South Wales, and it just used to always be a horrible traffic jam. And the M5, a lot of people forget this, it was only 3 lanes as far as junction 3, and then it went down to 2 lanes. There was no M42, and it was 2 lanes all the way down to the M50, and then they extended south from there as a 3-lane motorway. I think originally it was kind of weird. I vaguely remember the M5 became the M50, and you had this weird junction where it was a junction with no other way to go, if that makes sense. And Strensham Services was almost entirely on that junction. Now, the southbound side is still in the same location, but the northbound side, when they widened the M5, because of its proximity to the junction, they moved it north. And actually, the motorway maintenance depot that you pass on your left-hand side as you head north, that's actually what used to be Strensham Services northbound. It was certainly on that site, and that would have been where Teddy would have been bought. So yeah, not just a pretty face, also a cesspit of knowledge about Britain's motorway network as well. Viaduct Central Model Railway, hi to you. I like transport. I heard there's one called 4 o'clock club now. I remember the Wide Awake Club with Timmy Mallet. Yeah, he was mad as cheese as well. Why is that not scrolling? There we go. Nathan Delay, have you heard the TV show The Great Model Railway Challenge? It's a train show on TV. Yeah, we talk about this every week. Yes, I am in that series, and I can't give you any spoilers, obviously. But what I will say is that it starts broadcasting on the 30th of August. That's episode 1 of 8. But look out for episode 2. Now, it may sort of feature briefly in the opening or closing credits. But episode 2, I will feature, hopefully, fairly prominently. You'll be able to recognise me there. And from there, who knows? You'll have to watch the series. But yeah, I know all about that because I've been involved 2 years running in various capacities. First year, I did a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. I actually auditioned to be one of the judges. I'll have you know, I got beaten by Kathy Millett. But myself and a couple of my friends went after the judging roles. Now, Steve Flint, I believe, can't say this for certain, but I think Steve Flint, he being the editor of Railway Modeller, which is owned by Pico Publications, which is part of Pico, and Pico being a big sponsor, he was obviously going to be one of the judges, but they were looking for a second judge. And I did do an audition and didn't get onto the screen test section. And I believe that Kathy Millett and my friend Nick went down to do a screen test, and Kathy Millett got the job. So there, you bet you didn't know that. But I am on the main series this time round, and great fun it was. The Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout. I'd be too scared to count how many N-gauge locos, coaches and wagons I have. Runs to almost 500. Yeah, well, I've got 170 locomotives, and I dread to think how many coaches and how many items of rolling stock I have. I've never actually counted them. Let's have a look. Wolfie Wolf. Hey up. Hey up, Jenny. Hope you and Zoe are well. Sorry, whenever somebody types A up, Wally Batty, and the little voice in my head puts on a Wally Batty impression. It's just one of those things. It's like when somebody types in block capitals, the little voice in my head reads it out in a shouty voice. Hello, I'm on the phone. So James Pets, good evening to you. Mark Herbert, laughing so hard the tears are going down your face. Gonads 1259, evening to you. Are you regretting picking in that sort of momentary lapse of reason going, I need a screen name? Gonads, that'll be a laugh. Mark Herbert, classic games those. Yeah, they are actually. There's a lot of quality games here. Zoe will probably come running in a moment and go, did somebody say games? But yeah, actually, let's have a look. What do we got? Yeah, Earthworm Gyms. Oh, here's a stone cold cult classic. Echo the Dolphin on Mega Drive. Oh, and this is the one I love. Gods. Loved that game. I had that on my Amiga 500 when I was younger, and did complete it actually. But back in the days when you could devote weekend after weekend and evenings, you put off doing your homework and just play computer games. It was great. Wolfie Wolf, I think you share the same sentiments as the rest of you. Hi, East likes hell. Hope you heal quickly. Yeah, broken leg, not a good one. Sean Sandyford, Xbox One, or as Ben Yahtzee Crawshaw calls it, the X-Bone. I won't tell you what he calls the PS4 because it's a bit rude, and I know that my little nephews sometimes tune into this. So yes, Auntie, you use words every day that are a bit rude, but you may be rather shocked to learn that Auntie Jenny probably does as well, but not in front of you. Viaduct Central Model Railway, what's your best loco? Well, it depends what you define as best. Is that as in favourite, or one that's just like runs super reliably and you just find yourself always using? I think in that second category, it's probably something like I've got a Class 25, 25087 in Rail Blue. It's a Bachmann model, quite an early Bachmann model. I think it was the first tops numbered Class 25 that they released when they introduced the model, and I just tend to always find myself running it a lot. But in terms of my favourite locomotive, now that's a toughie. It's like, if you could save just one locomotive, what would it be? I don't know. I think the house is burning down. You can only grab one locomotive. What will it be? I'd be like, I can carry more than one. You just watch me. But at the moment, I've got a sound-fitted Duchess of Montrose, the brand new Hornby one. And I'm really loving that model simply because it's a modern, full bells and whistles version of the Hornby 00 loco that I had in my childhood model railway. So it's probably why I really love that. But I also love, I've got a 57XX pannier tank in Stevenson's industrial blue. What's that? Something Stevenson? I can't remember the name of the company, but I just love that. It's like a quirky livery. Coalbridge Junction, hi to you. Otis JB, don't think all the models, the majority won't have been made yet. I like many others. I'm sure I'm extremely fed up with BR green and black models. Oh yeah, it's clear from the H and C class that there is a huge demand for arguably more interesting and definitively more obscure prototypes. I know that I would much rather have a pre-grouping model over a BR or LNER standard. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And I think sometimes when the major manufacturers bring out a model and they do a pre-grouping liveried version, sometimes it's almost like they're a bit surprised how well they sell. And maybe, you mentioned the C-Class there, the original release of the Southeastern and Chatham Railways fully lined out C-Class. I think, I know because I've spoken to people at Bachmann, they said it took them a little bit by surprise. They kind of had an inkling that it was going to be popular, But really, it was far more popular than they thought, and it really put it down to the livery, because it was also released in Southern Railway Black BR livery. But yeah, BR Black loco is a bit boring. And it's interesting, when you look at Hatton's sale and you look through that, what is usually very apparent is the locomotives that hit the sales and, you know, get reduced tend to almost universally be BR Black, or things like LMS or LNER Black or Southern Black. You know, these black locos, but you know, you can't overlook the fact that a lot of prototype locomotives were black. And you know, you look even at the pre-grouping railways, the Fowler 4Fs, Midland Railway, Fowler 4Fs, it's a black livery. The Aspinall, Lancashire and Yorkshire Radial 242 tanks, it's a black livery. You know, some of these pre-grouping companies like London and North Western Railway, Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, Midland Railway, you know, a lot of these mundane locos had a kind of black livery. But yeah, certainly J11, which is the Robinson 9J in Great Central Railway days, that was quite popular. Also, Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway, a lot of those locos sell really well. So, you know, these colourful liveries really do reach out and grab people. And I'd love to see a Highland Jones Goods, I think they're called, in the actual Highland Railways. It's sort of like a brown colour, light brown colour. I'd love to see one of those. I think we will eventually, you know, as they tick off these different classes. I think that what they're going to find is that perhaps some of these long lost pre-grouping liveries and locomotives are going to prove quite popular, simply because, you know, in the same way that the Peckett W4s with their very colourful ornate liveries were insanely successful. And I think a lot of them were just bought for the eye candy, like the Huntley and Palmer's, the blue biscuit liveried one. So popular that they're now bringing out the other W4 Peckett that they had in the same livery, because it sold so well. And I believe it's actually sold out the second time round, such is its popularity. And believe me, they will have made sure that they're making quite a lot of them. So that's a good little learner for Hornby. And what it shows actually is that that's a genius masterstroke by Hornby, that they've recognised that that model sold really well, there was a lot of demand for it, and they're releasing it again. And it's not a rerun of the same model, they're very, very craftily doing the other locos. So I think they did Locomotive D, because Huntley and Palmer's, they lettered their locomotives instead of numbered them, so they had A, B, C and D, and then I think it broke down for the fireless locomotives that they had. I'm not sure that they were E and F. But certainly C and D with the W4 Pecketts. They've already done D, and they're going to do C. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, East Lancs Hell, Jenny, they need a Big Bertha. I totally agree with you on that. And Big Bertha, you could do her in Midland Railway livery, LMS livery, and BR livery. And that, I suppose, in some respects, that's a locomotive that got away. It should really have been preserved in the National Collection, but it wasn't. This is good stuff. So I'm going to put that down there. And oh, I just redlined the microphone doing that. Right. East Lancs Hell. I cannot drink because of meds. Sad. Oh no, but I've been waiting hand and foot by my daughter, so not too bad. Yeah, it's when I've been really ill, I try and get Zoe to wait on my hand and foot, but it's just grumpy. You bang on the floor and you just go, "Oh, you shut up, you're making the light swing." Viaduct Central Model Railway. Hi, I've never got 50 subs. Please help, thanks. Everybody subscribe to Viaduct Central Model Railway. Or as the voice in my head, which reads everything very literally, goes, Viaduct Central Model Railway! Because you've got it all in capitals, just, you know, putting that out there. Hunts Heath Model Railway would love a Class 304 EMU. Now, EMUs are a bit of a slow seller, shall we say. Now, Hornby dipped their foot in the market, as did Bachmann, but we have seen released, deep breath now, the Class 401, the 402, the 403, the 411, the 416, the 419, and the 423 are the ones that I can think of, and none of those, I believe, were particularly strong sellers, and that may have coloured the release of other third rail electric units. So Or is that actually no? Is that an overhead 1500 volt DC one? I'm not really up in the world of EMUs, but certainly it's something that historically haven't been high sellers. So you might struggle on that. That may be one that gets taken up by one of the more niche manufacturers. Maybe something like Acura Scale would do that, or even some of the more cottage industry ones. Mr. Worldwide, also known as Pitbull, high T. Normally, the run-of-the-mill thing is, certainly with me, you get a couple maybe of a class, and you're quite happy with that. You've got a good representation of that class, and you move on. You divert your resources into other classes of locos. But for me, the locomotives that I can never get too many of are Class 25s and Class 8s, and I've got it's like 15 Class 25s, and I've got nearly the same number of Class 8s. And there is no too many for either of those classes. But I'm a little bit picky on liveries. With the Class 25s, got to be tops numbered. So not interested in the green ones unless it's green with the tops number applied, which some of them did, because they weren't repainted when they were numbered into tops. Let's have a look. Otis JB. Also, I have only 11 locos. Oh, it's just jumped again. Where's it jumped to? Oh, it keeps jumping. Oh, gosh, you've all been very busy. It's jumped to the bottom. So I'm just trying to find where I was up to, actually. Oh, here we are. Gosh, you have been very busy. I'm going to work through these comments. Just bear with me. Well, I would love a huge size collection. I really don't think I'd be able to use it enough to justify it. Yeah, I've got 170 plus locos, and there are some locos that never get used. It's just one of those things. Leslie Gilpin. Some Northeastern Railway electrics. The steeple cab ones would be interested. Passenger freight, or better still, a Furness Railway Baltic tank. Yeah, there's some of these really interesting ones. There's some 440s that the Hull and Barnsley Railway had, which I think looked really interesting. And I think we may see some of these. There was the what was it? The Hoy Lake, the one that ran up the Wirral was the Hoy Lake and something or other railway. There's some very interesting looking locos from the pre-grouping period. Also, ones that the London, Tilbury and Southend Railway had some really amazing locomotives. They look amazing. I don't know how effective they were. But also the Great Central Railway, the Wath shunters as well. So, there's a lot still that could be made. It's whether they would be commercially successful. Tony Britton, bit of a weird one. What about Oliver Bulliard's leader? Didn't Kernow Model Rail Centre announce they were going to do that? But certainly, I think that's the sort of oddball that if it hasn't been announced, I think either Kernow Models or Helgen would probably dip their toe in that, and it might actually be quite successful. James Petts, I got a good bargain on a Drummond 700 recently at 59 quid perhaps from Hatton's. Yeah, me too. There's going to be a review. Hopefully this Wednesday's video will be a full-on review of that, plus a guide how to DCC fit it. And what I found with the Drummond 700 is it's not a great design where the actual chip goes. There's not a lot of space in there, so you have to be very careful with your choice of chip. Coalbridge Junction. Have you ever seen a model of School's Loco Repton? I have actually. Can't remember whether it's an up-to-date one or whether it was the older version of the Hornby one, but certainly I think that has been done at some point in the past. Matt Tovel has so many locos with amazing liveries like SECR and GCR, but find it difficult to find suitable rolling stock to go with them. Amen to that, man. Yes, and it's something that when I had the ear of Bachmann, whilst I was filming a TV series, I did say to them that this was something that was sorely needed. I think I've also mentioned it to Hornby as well, but as to how much influence I really have, I don't know. Tony Britton, Q1, it's so ugly, it's pretty. Yeah, sometimes you get things that are like that. They're kind of quirky. Dovans GWR, I was at the PMB on Wednesday and had a Great Eastern Railway inspection saloon to myself. Yeah, and there's an awful lot of interesting coaching stock as well. Berry 120, another side to this topic is the way manufacturing could change in the future, and I believe to some extent it's already changing. Yeah, we're seeing some production moving back to the UK as well. Viaduct Central Model Railway, would anyone want to check out my channel? Yeah, everybody go and have a look at Viaduct Central Model Railway. He wants to get to 50 subs, so go over, take a look, and if you like it, sub. So there we are. We've done the plug for the day. Don't all rush in now and say, oh, can you mention my channel? It's like, come on, easy, Tiger. Q&As 12.59. Would love a Backy Class 66 with sound, but cannot afford one yet. Actually, the Hornby one, it's not as well detailed as some of the like the Bachmann or the soon-to-be released Hattons one, but that with a TTS sound chip, the TTS sound chips are actually really good. I cannot sing their praises more highly, and no, Hornby have not sent me through any freebie review samples of the TTS sound chips. All the ones that I have and have used and love, not found a bad one yet. I've all bought with my own money, and I think they're great. Very, very good value for money. Berry 120, 3D printing is making one-offs more accessible, for instance, and more companies doing smaller runs of locos once they have a group of people committed. Yeah, 3D printed is still in its infancy, but I think very much we're going to see that improve over the next few years. Berry 120, I personally like to see more freely available models for people to 3D print, fit on a standard chassis, and then detail at their leisure. It'd be a very cost-friendly option, all things considered. Certainly, yeah, but it's one of those things, paying somebody's time to actually make the CADs. If somebody's prepared to do that for free and release them public access, then so be it. But a lot of people want to be paid for their time, and, you can't begrudge them that. Oh, I've got a drinking problem here. I spilt some. Eastlank Helm. My wife has banished the model layout and real trains to garage and the loft in the living room. She doesn't. She does not like the living room. Oh, how strange. That sounds like you had 3 rooms to yourself. I mean, I've basically got model trains in the loft room, and there's a few display cabinets knocking about the house, but that's about as far as it gets here. The shed is completely devoid of model railways now, completely cleared out. Bolton Trinity Road. Some of the baseboards remained, but stripped down to the bare wood, and they're just going to be a workbench. Andy Evans, eBay fantastic if I want to set any second-hand items, but only problem you can get carried away buying too much. Plus, off to NEC Birmingham this year. Can't wait. It's been 10 years at this show both days. eBay. Yeah, I stopped buying off eBay. It's got sniped a lot, which really annoyed me. Flymo Chairman 1. Good evening. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. That was it's a song. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I can't remember who it's by. It's like a country song. Leslie Gilpin. 5 o'clock club was 2 puppets, Ollie Beak and Fred Barker, who transmogrified into a certain Basil Brush. Boom, boom. Same hand and voice from the 60s, yeah. James Petts, gosh, do you remember the 7 bridge services of old? On the what's now the M48, yeah, 7 bridge services. They're still there. I've been to them. They're very oldie worldy. Goneds 1259. M5 was 2 lanes from virtually just outside Birmingham. Yeah, Junction 3 down to near Exeter in the early 80s. No, I believe it was built from the M50 southwards. It was always built as 3 lanes. It was only from the M50 up to Junction 3 that it was ever 2 lanes. That's my memory. Wolfie Wolf, I have photos of the expressway to Junction 3 of the M5 being built. Charles Curtis, hi Jenny, hope everything is going well. Yes, thank you very much. Leslie Gilpin, the 7 bridge services and now offices, but few people drive over the old bridge these days. Are there? I've stopped at 7 bridge services just at that. Is it Junction 2 of the M48 or Junction 1? It's where you come off to peel off and head south to Severn Beach. And you come into Avonside Docks from the top side. It's like the nice little hidden road that cuts out, going through Cribbs Causeway on the M5, which certainly in the summer is caravanning hell. James Petts, 170. I presume you're talking about. 170. Yeah, I do have a lot of locos. James Petts, dearie me. I know it's what my wife says. Les Cliff, hi to you. This is Les Cliff. You remember him as a guest here on the Monday Club. Don't forget as well, merchandise available. Get yourself over to Teespring. Buy these mugs. Love these mugs. Also, Super Chat is available if you want to help me. Help me. Help. I'm trapped in a room with cans of booze. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Matt Tovel, I have a distant memory of only having 1 loco a long time ago. Yeah, I remember that. Buying my first like super detail loco. It was a Hornby ex Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Pug. I believe it was R2093A. Is it 20938? No, 20938B could have been. Running number 51222. Still got it. It's upstairs in the loft. I might DCC chip that actually, just for old time's sake. Gonads 1259. No, not at all, Jen. Oh, I think that was my comment earlier on about gonads. Yeah, what the hell. I used to have the internet handle when I was at university of 667, the neighbour of the beast. I thought that was really funny, but I look back now and think I was a bit of a prat. Worcestershire Road. You can't have too many models, but you can have too many for a domestic environment. A large collection is a museum, like the one at Brighton. Yeah, I like that. So when you can have too many for a domestic environment. That's a loaded comment, isn't it? It's like you can have too many to arouse suspicion of domestic authorities. It's how you keep them is the trick to not having too many. I like transport. I went to watch Luke Alford's premiere. Are you still talking about games? I dip in and out. Here, Micro Machines 96. Where are we? There. There's more where that came from. Coalbridge Junction. Do you know where I can find Class 66 silver buffers? All supplies seem to be out of stock. Any ideas? What's his name? Peter's Spares is probably your best bet. Unless if it's a Bachmann model, contact Bachmann themselves. They've got a very good spares department. Leslie Gilpin, just heard my other half hoovering the railway room stroke shed. Hey, you've got them very well trained. Sean Sandyford, A4 Mallard. Yeah, I've got a Hornby 00 A4 Mallard in 3 rails somewhere. But I don't have a super detailed one. It's a big omission in my fleet. Gonads 1259, Class 47. Yeah, I'm not really a big 47 fan. Excuse me. Brockwell Lane. I can't stop buying Bachmann Class 37. So many colours and variations to get. Yes, certainly. There's it's the model that keeps on giving. Still very long lasting. Lots of liveries. I've got 3. I'm not a big 37 fan, but don't dislike them. I've got 2 sound fitted. And 1 that needs a new motor. I bought it that way, I didn't break it myself. Leslie Gilpin, Jenny, wash your mouth out. Midland locos were all in red after they changed from green. Not the freight locos. I believe the freight locos were in black. The Fowler 4F was definitely... Bachmann did a model of that a couple of years ago. I've got one, and it's black. Hi Jen, all about Bachmann. Deja vu, bad management. Don't know about train models. Come on, Hornby number 1. Fanboy in the house. Gonads 1259. I emailed Hattons to confirm a loco was DCC fitted recently, and they increased the price from £88 to £94 when they replied 48 hours later. That sounds to me like the £88 is for the non-DCC fitted version and £94 is for the DCC fitted one. You can probably get that cheaper if you're prepared to fit the chip yourself, because they do charge a fitting fee. Roman van der Meiden, hi to you. Yeah, of course you can. I know. It's how you store them is the trick. If they're taking over your house and the domestic authorities are making complaints, then you're not being creative enough in the way you store them. Display cabinets. I mentioned before at the start of the programme, Picture Pride displays. Other display cabinets are available. People always go on about the little display cabinets, usually available in the run-up to Christmas every year. They are pretty good, very cost-effective. But the best ones on the market, in my opinion, but you do pay a lot for them, are the Picture Pride displays. Don Cragen. Hi, Jenny. Good morning from California. Where the sun shines all night. Well, they do from our point of view. You probably, don't know what time. Would you be like early hours in the morning, or are you sort of very late at night? I don't know what the time difference is to California. A.D. Pullen, I'm looking forward to Hornby Southern Rowan Merchant Navy Class 462 21C7 Aberdeen Commonwealth and Wartime Black Air Smooth 2. Yeah, I've got one in the malachite green. Do you know what malachite actually is? Malachite is a particular ore of copper, and it's green. And in fact, it is malachite green. That's where the colour comes from. It's probably they used the ore to as a pigment once upon a time. Mark Rice, good old dark fruit. Boom, represent. Ow. Ooh, I'm getting drunk. I just bashed the can against my teeth. Hey, it's not too bad with a metal can, but never do that with a glass bottle. That is one-way recipe to chip teeth. Ask me how I know. Not because I've done it, but because I watched somebody else do it on a night out in a nightclub. That was one expensive trip to the dentist for them the day after. But yeah, getting very sloshed here. I'm loving it. Mark Herbert loves Strongbow Dark Fruits. Boom. Gonk Droid 229. That sounds like something out of 2000 AD. I do approve. Hi Jenny, just joined. Are you getting the Hornby Ruston shunter? Yeah, it's funny you should mention that actually. There it is on the screen on the Hornby site. But yes, I believe it's out. Expected autumn 2019. Very, very vague. I have seen the samples. The samples do work. So, very excited by them. I do have one on order. I can't actually remember which one I've got on order. It's that long ago I ordered it. But yes, I am definitely getting one of those bad boys. Roman van der Meiden, my first week without alcohol, only in the weekends from now on. Oh, my sympathies. Actually, no, I never drink on a school night. So generally speaking, I've like 2 days a week where I might drink alcohol. And usually, actually, you guys are a really bad influence. I tend to only get slightly inebriated when I do the Jenny Monday Club. David Gregory, good morning from New Zealand. Good morning to you. Glad you could join us from the land of Middle Earth. You're probably sick of people saying that. It's like, oh, you live in Hobbiton. It's like, no, you live in New Zealand. It was just Peter Jackson decided the scenery was so great he'd go and film that there. Actually, New Zealand, I'd love to go and visit there. It's like Britain, but with more dramatic countryside, I believe. East Lancs Hell, Big Bertha, I would say, would be done by Hornby. Interesting thought, actually. I still think Big Bertha, I reckon that could be one of 3 manufacturers. I reckon that's one that Helgen could probably consider as well. It's oddball. It's their kind of cup of tea, really. Let's have a... Oh, no, have I broken the... Oh, Otis JB. Boom. Thank you to you. Hello for the Monday Club. Love it every week. Well, thank you very much to you. That is awesome. Thank you for putting that in there on the super chat. It's very much appreciated. So, sir, I drink to you. I should show it to the camera. I'm like, I love you. But yeah, I drink to you, sir. I salute you. Thank you very much. Oh, where are we up to? It's jumped again. Let's have a look. I've just seen a comment by Zoe. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. Rockets often fly off shelves. Their sales go up like a... Zoe is the queen of bad one-liners, it has to be said. Gosh, there's so many comments here. I'm trying to get through them, but yeah, typing comments too quickly for me. Otis JB, yes, I would love a Jones Goods in yellow so much. There's a DJI kit that's got ridiculous price, £130 plus. Specialists need to supply the motor gears and even the wheels yourself. Yeah, actually, that's not a kit. That's like scratch building with a little bit of a head start. East Lancs Hell, I have an idea from some Hornby person. I just have idea from Hornby person I was talking to. I know that they do. Hornby are very good. They tend to scan models, plan them, get a lot of the CAD work done before they ever announce them. So that means that the lead times are very short, and we don't see the sort of things that we've seen from Bachmann with the Class 24-1 or even the VEA van. I remember like 20 years ago going to the York Model Railway show, and they had a kit-built VEA that they'd announced in the cabin. It's like 20 years. Come on. And they're still talking about doing it. I like transport. Another EMU produced was Class 350 and similar 450. Yeah. Grandad Choo Choo. Hello, Class 47s for me. Robert, hi Jenny. Love you, Class 25s. I bought 6 Hornby ScotRail Saltire Mark IIs on eBay. Only released today and paid $29.95 each from Jadlam Racing, including PMP. That's pretty good. Gonez 1259. Western Somerset Railway has said its 2018 accounts will make dismal reading. Oh, that's not good. Richard Hall, in each Class 351 or 2 produced in OO were incredibly slow sellers, yes, with big discounts while stock existed. Now, especially London Midland, are expensive to track down pre-owned. Stuart Muir, I would love to see a class 310 or 312 overhead electric multiple unit. I like transport. Someone should make a class 175. Otis JB, I would love a bolted tank, SECRD, and an LBSC B4. Yeah, there's a lot of these really pretty models. I think there's still a lot to do. Kinetic rail, how about Hornby redoing Stephenson's rocket? I completely agree with you there, and I think that there's an awful lot of Era 1 stuff that really would make very interesting model railways. And ever since the 70s when Hornby did that model, and I believe it was a pretty good, I think was that for the 150th anniversary of the Stockton and Darlington, something like that. It's never been reissued, and actually, not Stockton and Darlington, Liverpool and Manchester. I think that there's a huge untapped potential there, and not just the rocket. You're talking about Sanspirel, Novelty, but even some of these other locomotives that came shortly after with Lancashire Witch. There's a lot of these very early locomotives, and locomotives advanced very, very quickly. A DX Goods, for example, Midland Spinner. James Carroll, good evening, Jenny, from across the big pond. Q&As 1259, however, the threat of insolvency is receding due to measures put in place. Still sounds a little precarious for them, though. Yeah, unfortunately, I think certain preserved lines have tended to overstretch themselves, which is, got to be careful. Dungeon Wood Model Railway, I'm the same. I have quite a big collection of diesels, loads of 25, and also a decent amount of steamers, which I don't run on the slab because of the 2 helixes. But I can never say no to a bargain. Totally the same, actually. Is why I bought the Drummond 700 class. James Pett's 3D printing is splendid. I managed to make some smoke deflectors for the Hornby Lord Nelson with 3D printing. Yeah, and these are the sort of things that 3D printing comes into their own. Not just making full models, but also bits to embellish existing ones and to change and alter them. Leslie Gilpin, Mark Herbert, trying Hornby did one, I think in the 60s, maybe wrong. Yeah, Rocket, yeah, it was 1970s that was trying Hornby. I like transport. Sorry to sound like greedy sob, but will does anyone think I might get to 250 as well? Oh, subscribe. Okay, yeah, everybody head over to I Like Transport and subscribe to his channel. Boom! Right, no more plugging other people's channels. I've done 2 of you, so don't say I don't do anything. James Pets, I have made the 3D models available with a Creative Commons license. Yes, some people do. Same with computer games. You get Creative Commons license stuff. So some do, but you can't always guarantee it. Mark Herbert, trying to do Rocket, my mate. Yeah, I don't know how good they actually were. I've not seen one in the flesh for a long time. I know the coaches looked very nice. Austin Yingst, greetings from Tennessee, USA. We're doomed if we can have too many locos or rolling stock. We don't. Short answer is no, you can't have too much. You can have too little space to use them or display them, but I don't believe you can ever have too much. Although some people do regularly have culls of their collection. Brian's a right one for that. He's a right Brian for selling stuff on. He rigidly sticks to a time period. The old rivet counting fun police. No, you can't have a DP2. So I think he's going to be selling a sound fitted DP2 shortly. So watch this space. I Like Transport. Viaduct Central Model Railway, your channel looks good. I'll watch some of your videos after this live stream. Boom, there you are. Vote for Viaduct Central Model Railway. I Like Transport has given you the seal of approval, so head on over there. See if we can get them above 50 subs. I am curious just how much influence I have. Can I wang somebody? Now, wang, if you don't know, internet term, it means when a bigger channel mentions a smaller channel and creates a huge boost in traffic as a result. Brockwell Lane, just bought a Bachmann Class 90. It's completely out of my chosen area of modelling, but I just fancied it. Don't have any suitable coaches or electric wires up. I must be crazy. I did the same with the Class 85, it has to be said. And a 76. I don't have third rail electric, but I've got a Class 401, a 402, a 411, and a 419. RL Electronics UK, Jimmy Buffett, country singer. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett, that's the one. Don Cragen, it's 5 o'clock somewhere with a song performed by Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett, written by Jim Moose Brown and Don Rollins. Aaron Izzard, hello Jenny, how are you doing? Pretty good, thank you. Brockwell Lane, 667, Neighbour of the Beast, very good, thank you. Flymo Chairman, lol 667, Neighbour of the Beast. And this is how far behind on the comments saying, you're typing too fast. Yeah, I like trains. They are. You called it. You're behind on the chat. Yeah. Kinetic Rail, expanding our Hornby rocket. How about a Pioneers range? Rocket, Planet and Lion to start. That is actually a really good idea. I know that in America, Backman do the DeWitt Clinton, and there's another one they do. It's like a full set. And I keep looking at them rather longingly and wishing that we got something similar over here. James Pets, don't knock the Class 47. They built 500 of the things. Yeah, look, I know. It just doesn't tickle my fancy. Austin Yingst, I can't imagine life without the anticipation of one more loco. Life without heaven. Oh my god. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like that thrill of buying new toys. And also another big thank you here for Otis JB for donating £1.99 on the super chat. Thank you very much for that, and really do appreciate that. So thank you very much. Viaduct Central Model Railway. I love Mondays. It's just jumped again. Blooming thing. Yeah, actually, I quite like Mondays because Monday's my day off. Boom! And so's Tuesday, actually. I say my day off. This is when I film a lot of the videos that you see on my channel. I film them on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm still working. I've actually been at Hatton's all day today, working on a project. Excuse me. So I'm still working, but it's working the kind of work that I want to do rather than the work I do because I need to pay a mortgage. Viaduct Central Model Railway. Has anyone else got an old Hornby loco with a chuff sound? We talked about that last week actually with the sandpaper. Aaron Wizard. Oh, the shunter looks cute. It certainly does. Otis JB. I got my 2 picture pride displays for £20 each from someone I knew who wanted to get rid of them. Why did they want to get rid of them? That is actually the best, because they're like £200-300 each. You've got that for less than 10%. That, my friend, has got to be bargain of the day. So Monday Club, bargain of the day, new feature, inebriated by alcohol. I'm going to introduce that. Yeah, bargain of the day. You, sir, Otis JB, have scored there. 20 quid for picture pride displays. That is actually really, really good. They are good, aren't they? Let's have a look. I like transport. Just because you're spending money, one Hornby will probably send you one. I do hope so, actually. I have become an official reviewer for Hornby, so done pretty good with that. And I would like to extend a big thanks to Hornby for sending me over review copies, because it really does help out. Because otherwise, I'm buying all of the stuff that I'm reviewing, and it does get expensive. And also, it adds to the problem of having too much model railway stuff. At least if you get sent them for free, I tend to give a lot of stuff away afterwards. You know, because obviously you're not paid for it, so you don't feel so bad just giving it to other people who. It's kind of nice to help them out with building their model railway. Gonk Droid 229. Are there any diesels that you'd like that aren't available, haven't been made before? I've got a Ruston shunter on order too. They look so cool. Yep, I said this before, I'll say it again. Class 01, 02 and 06 shunter. Now, I don't count the Hornby Pocket Rocket Class 6. That really wasn't a Class 6. I'd love to see those 3 in model form, and also Class 13. I know that I think Olivia's Trains do a custom built one out of 2 Hornby Class 8s. I don't count that either. I'd like a ready to run one. Christopher Evans, good evening, Jenny. Love your live chat. Thank you very much. If you are thinking of putting water on your layer, I found out that clear varnish, 5 coats gives a water look worth trying. Have you even tried AstroTurf? Yeah, the thing about varnish, I have used that to do like ponds, things like that. If you've got a nice flat base, brilliant. But the deluxe material, solid water that I've been using is great if you've got an uneven base, if you want to model a proper stream bed, like with rocks and stuff and a thicker layer of water. I found that actually that is really, really good. So I'm planning actually on doing a video on how to add a pond to an existing model railway. I've got an area of the weir yard up in the loft that is screaming out for a bit of marshy land and a pond. And actually today, whilst I was over at Hatton's, it would have been rude to leave empty-handed. So I bought myself some bulrushes from, I can't remember the manufacturer. I think it's a continental manufacturer. It's not Nock, it's not Prizer, it's not Fowler. I can't remember what they're called. But the bulrushes look amazing, and I'm really looking forward to doing a how-to guide, a video for making sort of marshland and a pond. Don Cragen, it's now 11:39 in California. We are 8 hours behind you most of the year. The US doesn't always switch to or from DST, something standard time on the same dates as the UK. So you're behind me. So you're actually in yesterday. Oh, hello from the future. James Carroll, I stopped buying on eBay. I received model rail equipment, not even in HO. I received N-scale loco, but one HO model. Returned to eBay, say seller is taking time away. Yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah, people try it on. Grandad Choo Choo, read faster, drink slower. Okay. Yeah, challenge accepted. Otis JB, mind you, thinking about it, I've been rather unlucky with deals recently. Just got 5 rather sorry looking but easily fixed kit-built van wagons for 10 quid and a Longmore Military Railway Class 08 for free last year. Boom! Actually, yeah, Otis JB, double boom. Not just scoring on the Picture Pride display cabinets. Longmore Military Railway Class 8, that was a Model Zone stroke signal box exclusive. I've got one of those. And you might see it in an upcoming TV series on Channel 5. It got called the Blue and Red Peril. People said it looked ugly. I liked it. I still do like it. I've still got it up on Weir Yard. East Lancs Hell. I went to Bolton Model Mart. He spent my birthday money, which was 500 quid. Did you tell him that I sent you? Please tell me that you said... Oh, Jenny told me about your shop. I thought I'd come and see if she was right, because that keeps Phil quite happy. Berry 120, loving all the comments and discussion. Got to admit, it's a good problem to have. Yeah, I know. Too many models is a bit of a first world problem, but yeah, I don't have too many models. You never have too many. London International, hi to you. Yeah, East Lancs Health said hello from you. Oh, next time I go in there, I'll ask Phil about that. Brockwell Lane, still want that VAA from Backman, but have lost hope on ever seeing it. I bet VR built all the real ones in this time. They were actually a conversion from VEV vans. They got new suspension and converted to air brakes, and it was to do with servicing customers that still had older track work, so very tight curves, but BR wanted to be able to service them from the air-braked freight network. Brockwell Lane, sorry, just read that. James Carroll, Jenny, small sips lead to quicker verbalisation. Now that's, see, I'm not drunk yet, verbalisation. Flocky pocky nihilification. See, I can still say those big words. Let's have a look. Otis JB, it would be hilarious to see models of Cycloped released. Maybe it could come with the rocket as a freebie. Yeah. That's the one with the horse, wasn't it? The horse on the treadmill. Apparently it was not very successful. In fact, I think it would have been more successful if they just hooked the horse up and had the horse pull it from the front, just walking on the sleepers. Castle Junction, better late than never. Hi, Jenny. Hi to you. Oh, it's just jumped again. Oh gosh! You're commenting too fast. I can't read it fast enough. Berry 120. I'm never sure if the lack of Era 1 model rails are because of the lack of stock from manufacturers or because people just aren't interested in building them. I think it's the chicken and the egg. You build them and they will come. People and manufacturers said for a long time that nobody was interested in pre-grouping, and now they are because the models are available. And I do believe that Era 1 was actually a big era. You're talking right through to something like 1870. So you're talking about some quite ornate Victorian locos towards the end of that period that are more in keeping with what you would recognise from the pre-grouping period. And indeed, I think the Terriers were built originally just into the Era 1 period. Adrian Chesterton, Alexa, resume. I don't know what that does actually. People are now sort of like giving me the finger, going, oh, how dare you turn on my Alexa. Oh dear, well, Cortana, resume. Let's see what happens when it does that. Right, I like transport. Can you shout out my friends Fort Murray, Muirreach and Luke Alford as well? Consider it done. Big shout out to Dun Muirreach and Luke Alford as well. I hope I'm pronouncing those correctly. Anthony Strathmore Road Junction. Hi Jenny, I have a question. What do you think of the Dapol Class 73? I think they had a few issues with the colours. Particularly the yellow warning panels were a bit too lemon yellow, but in terms of the fundamental model itself, good solid model. The roof vents, I've had to super glue mine back on because one of them kept popping off, but otherwise a very good performer. Viaduct Central Model Railway, the Hornby Smoky Joe is the best. It has its uses. My little nephews, aged 6, 8 and 9, would agree with you actually. I think they get a great deal of fun from that. Jason Pryor, hello from Suffolk. You can never have too much stock. Berry 120, James Petts, I've released various bits of software similarly as open source software engineer is my day job. Would love to get into CAD some more and do similar with that. Just comes down to time. Yeah, time is another thing as well. Doing CADs does take a lot of time, even for somebody who's very, very good at them. Otis JB, also you have looked into the story of the Stevensons. I read a book about them, and apparently Robert did all the work on the rocket and went to South America to find gold. When he came back, his father had taken all the credit. Yeah, sometimes you find other people are very good at stealing credit. I think the lady who actually did most of the work on writing the Doctor Who theme music didn't get a lot of the credit. Somebody else did, which is a bit unfortunate. East Lancs Hell, Victor Central. I've got Class 33 and 28XX and Backman Pannier. Oh, you got a 28XX? I've had my eye on that in the cabinet for a while. Backman Pannier, good call. Prairie and Lord Nelson at West Country and Merchant Navy and some carriages. Hey, gosh, I bet he was pleased to see you. That would have made his day. East Lancs Hell, Jenny, are you captain on GMRC? Long story. I was a captain. I formed the team. And then the TV company decided that they wanted somebody else as the team captain for very complicated reasons. None of it was my fault, and it was to do with my involvement with Series 1 and because I'd auditioned as a judge, and they felt that Channel 5 wanted more fresh faces in prominent positions, and then basically I ended up 2IC, second in command, but yeah, all complicated. But I'm not the team captain, even though I bossed people around a lot. Fly Mode Chairman 1. I'm seeing Big Boy 4014 is being offered in HO. Small loan required, but it looks good. Yeah, I saw one of those actually in Hatton's, about 347 quid. Ooh, it did look very nice. I found myself looking at it and thinking, I might get around the curves on Weir Yard, actually. Leslie Gilpin, I noticed today I got my first thumbs down on my channel. Should I wear the wound as a war trophy? Nope, I'm afraid trolls walk amongst us, well, they certainly view amongst us, and take it as... What you've got to remember is that YouTube counts thumbs down the same as thumbs up in terms of interactions. It just counts them as interactions, nothing more. So it doesn't actually matter. But yeah, there's always somebody trying to live letting you live rent-free in their heads. And usually sat in their Y-fronts in their parents' basement surrounded by used Kleenex is my view of those trolls. I don't care, to be honest. And, if I'm getting under their skin, then good, I'm doing something right. I like transport. Another member of my local railway club said he is getting rid of a Class 153 in Central trains and a Class 156 in Central trains. He said I could have the pair for £60. Should I take the offer? I think that sounds like a good price, actually. Caveats there, I know very little about those models. But yeah, that does sound a pretty reasonable price. It's just jumped again. Irish Train Guy, hello to you. Fly Mode Chairman, let's go. It's all reaction to your video. Smile knowing that, yeah, I know. Ben Davis, hi Jenny Kirk. Did you have a great weekend? I worked on Saturday. I went to Whitchurch on Saturday with work. And actually, yeah, I didn't have too bad a day on Saturday. Sunday, what did I do on Sunday? I'm sure I did something. Oh yeah, I sat up here. I filmed some videos. And then I sat and watched a couple of classic films up on the computer in the loft on watching trains go by in Weir Yard. And I watched Screamers and... Oh, what was the other one? I can't remember what the other film was. It was so memorable, I can't remember. But I did watch Screamers, and it's actually better than I remembered it being. Ben Davis, thanks for the live stream. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for watching. Dungerwood Model Railway, thanks Vida. Oh, to the subbing. I like transport. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, Brockwell Lane, the 153 is worth at least £60. That was my gut feeling. Viaduct Central Model Railway, I've got 48 subs. So close to 50. Oh, come on, everybody. Just sub to him. Let's see if we can get above 50. What did you have at the start of this live stream? I'm curious. Raymond Richter, hi Jenny. Recently read that DJ models have ceased trading. Oh, yes, that nuclear bombshell. Yeah, the letter. Dave Jones had a few paranoid things going on. Yeah. I was thinking about buying one of their 042 tanks, but not sure now. Actually, no, the 042 tanks were done for Hatton's. As far as I'm aware, very good model. Spares, probably not a problem. The moulds may well pass to Hatton's, so there may be more in the future. Certainly somebody will buy the moulds. I do believe that all of the DJ models will reappear in the future, sold on to other companies. So I would say if you can get it at a good price, it's a good model. Don't worry about it. So yeah. It's jumped again. I like transport. Did you just say Bachmann piano? No, Pania tank. Probably a 57XX, something like that. Warrington train spotter 2778. Hello to you. Good to have you aboard. Alex Pomeroy. I've got 28 locos, latest being a Bachmann Collet Goods. Great stream as always. Well, thank you very much. You're more than welcome. And yeah, Bachmann Collet. It's one of those locomotives. I keep meaning to get one and never quite get round to it. They did do one actually with the ROD tender, the Rail Operating Division tender. The same one that the Robinson 8K has. Which kind of dwarfed the loco, but I kept meaning to buy one. They were on offer from Hatton's for about 60 quid. I never got around to buying one. Brockwell Lane. Hatton's own all the tooling for the 14XX, not DJ. They told me that when I asked. The same. Oh, right, okay, that clears that up. I like transport. Brockwell Lane, I thought it probably was, but wanted some advice. No problem. Excuse me. James Carroll. My ex gave me an ultimatum. Either her or the trains. I don't miss her. Yeah. Oh, that the Les Dawson Memorial gag. Right. Leslie Gilpin. That River Rossi HO Big Boy is cheap compared with the higher detailed sound fitted Big Boys. I saw one priced at 628 quid. I can well believe it. East Lancs Hell. GMRC. Looking forward to it. Do you speak on TV, Jenny? I do, but I find it I have to be very careful not to fall off the top. TVs are getting awfully small. Bit of bunch. Actually, well, yeah, I do. They filmed me speaking a lot. They did a lot of interviews with me. Bachmann as well will be having some interviews with me on their website and social media. And Channel 5 as well have done some media work with me for promoting of GMRC. Whether they use it, I don't know. Whether Bachmann use it, I don't know. But certainly, yes, you will see me talk on TV an awful lot, even if it's been bleeped out by the old bleep machine. Viaduct Central Model Railway, I've got to 50 subs, yay. Boom! There we are. See, I can wang a channel. Basing TMD, hiya Jenny, how's it going? Not too bad, thank you. I like transport, thank you for all the shout-outs. You're welcome. Berry 120 DJ models, that could be worth a Monday discussion all of its own. We did do one actually about the demise of DJ models. So if you look back through all of the Monday Club videos, go up on YouTube and become just an ordinary video. So you can go back, you can re-watch them, you can catch up on the bits you missed. But certainly, yes, we did do a few weeks ago now a live stream kind of devoted, well, the topic was about DJ models, but we do go off-piste a little bit. Raymond Richter, thanks for that, Jen. You're welcome. Richard Hall, of the larger USD model locos, many of them available in stunning diecast, full lighting, sound, smoke, etc. from Broadway Limited Imports. No comparison with other manufacturers. Yeah, and I expect they're quite expensive. Oh, actually, am I near the bottom of the... have I? Yeah, I am near the bottom. Oh, yes, I am. Right. Richard... Matty Radnell, my newest loco was the Bachmann Jubilee. Actually, I've got Hong Kong. I bought that probably about 6-7 years ago when it was in the Bachmann fire sale at Hatton's. I bought a whole load of stuff. I think I bought a Class 42, a DCC fitted, arguably one of my first factory DCC, if not the first factory DCC fitted locos. But I didn't use it on DCC until I built Weir Yard. But that's I bought it at the same time as my Bachmann Jubilee, and I'm very happy with that loco, actually. I do quite like that. Fly Mode Chairman 1, Leslie Gilpin, the River Rossi 4014. I saw on the email today was $384.99 with 21 ship ready. I could well believe it costing more. I think it's about £370 at Hatton's. I did have a brief look at it in the cabinet, but well out of my league. Leslie Gilpin, Richard Hall, I agree. I'd get one an N, but other locos on the to buy list. I know that feeling well. There's certain locos, and for a long, long time, Class 52 Westerns, I'd basically been wanting one, never quite got round to it. And then Derry Foe Nightingale, friend of the channel, he managed to source me one, and I did finally get a Class 52 in my fleet. Berry 120, dear, I've shown myself up. DJ models must have been the one I missed. That's okay. After the live stream finishes, you go back and watch that video. Don't worry about it. Brockwell Lane, nearly caught up, Jenny. Quick, everyone. East Lancs Hell, any other famous faces in GMRC in different teams? I'm asking too much. Well, certainly on my team. They've already released a list. It's public domain now what the teams are. I don't think the personnel is listed, but certainly I can tell you that I was in Team Rail Riders. There was myself, Les Cliff, Brian Long, Simon A.C. Martin. You may recognise him as well from Biggest Little Railway. Les Cliff was in Biggest Little Railway as well. And then we also had Stefan Nilsson, who is the editor of the Swedish hobby magazine Modelljarnersvags Magasinet, which is like their big model railway publication. Is that everybody? Oh gosh, if I left out, sorry, Stefan, Les, Brian, me, Simon. Oh, and Melanie Lewis, who are hoping to get on as a guest to the channel. And she wasn't on Biggest Little Railway. But in terms of other people on other teams, famous faces, if they were famous, I'm not sure. There's probably a few other YouTubers hidden away in there. But certainly big names, I don't know. You'll have to watch it. Really just have to watch it, I'm afraid. Viaduct Central Model Railway. Do you have a TTS Gladwell? I presume that's an A4. No, I don't, but I do have 4 Hornby Super Detail A4s, and I've got 2 with TTS chips, which I retrofitted myself. Flymo Chairman 1, I wouldn't mind a Bobo that we used in the Channel Tunnel, just for curiosity. Actually, there's some Continental locomotives from the sort of like 20s and 30s. I think there was a Bobo diesel electric of some description. I'm just remembering back to playing Railroad Tycoon. Boom, represent, great game. Warrington Train Spotters 2778, rest in peace, East Midland Trains, another rail franchise has come to an end. But, you know, the trains will keep on running. Mark Herbert, how does one get involved with the Great Model Railway Challenge? Do they come looking for you, or do you apply to them? A mix of both. Now, I was involved in Series 1 insofar as I auditioned for being one of the judges. Obviously didn't get it. But then they asked me to form a team. I formed a team, and then for very complicated reasons had to drop out of that team. That was Team Sci-Fi that built the Doctor Who layout, which obviously I wasn't in because I dropped out. But then I was approached to see whether I would consider forming a team for GMRC 2, which I did, and that was Rail Riders. Well, it became Rail Riders. But most people applied, and they had over 100 teams apply that they then whittled down to I think it's 15 teams took part. So most people, I believe, applied, although some people would have been asked to do it. But I think that very much people who were asked were in a minority. And usually they would have been people who had been loosely involved in Series 1 and for whatever reason didn't actually appear on screen or do anything on screen, who were then asked if they wanted to come back for Series 2. The Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout recently suggested to Hattons to produce some Tampers in N-gauge. I think that would be a viable proposition. Now, I know that Bachmann / Lilliput did the Placitheura Tamper in, well, it's actually HO, but it appears in 00 for in the Bachmann range, but it's actually the Lilliput Tamper in UK liveries, and actually it was a much cheaper price. Initially, when they released it, it wasn't motorised. I've got one of the first release ones which isn't motorised. They then figured out how to motorise it, but it might be quite a proposition to motorise that in N-gauge, but then again, never say never. Viaduct Central Model Railway, my next goal is 100, LOL, only joke. Yeah, don't push your luck. There's only so much I can do. There's only so far I can take you. East Lancs Hell, just looking forward to GMRC. The rumour is that Forley Flyers is back in Season 2. No, they weren't. Unless they came back with a different name, but no, I didn't see them on the list. I don't believe any of the teams from Series 1 returned to Series 2. They wanted all new faces, as in people who had not been on Series 1. Warrington Train Spotter 2778. When will GMRC be broadcast on TV? Starts on the 30th of August, and then each weekend for 8 weeks after that. Gonad's 1259, just having a huge piece of Toblerone. The one I really like is the white chocolate Toblerone. That is chocolate of the gods. Brockwell Lane, you will get there, Viaduct. I'm approaching 3,000 and still can't believe it. Yeah, I remember passing 1,000 and thinking, how the hell did that happen? Why do these people want to listen to me? It's one of those things that sometimes, if you're producing video content that you yourself want to produce, so basically you're doing it because you enjoy doing it, not because you're necessarily desperately trying to build a channel or to make money out of it, it can organically just happen, which is what happened to me. I mean, I was there before YouTube was monetized, so nobody made any money, and it just kind of happens. And once you get over a certain threshold, you kind of get the traffic that means that it's like an exponential growth curve, is the theory. So I'm approaching 8,000 subs, I want to get to 10,000 by the end of the year. But you can't chase subs, because if there was a winning formula for getting subs and views and earning money off YouTube, then it would be completely and utterly commercialized. There are certain ways you can do these like crap videos that are all like prank videos and rubbish like that, or be like PewDiePie and do worthless rubbish that appeals to vacuous people. Oh, don't I sound bitter and old? You want to hang with the kids, eh? You want to hang with the kids and do prank videos? You might get to like millions of subs. But what was we talking about? I don't know. Come on, Grandma, get back to model railways. Fly Mode Chairman 1. I think the Bobo Bows were built for the Channel Tunnel work. From what I've read, look like Class 60 with 3 bogies. Not familiar with them. Leslie Gilpin, I'm stuck at 31, but getting more people looking at videos at last. Sorry, Jenny, don't worry about it. Mark, hello, Jenny. I just got the Hornby M7044 weathered DCC ready for £22 at the York car boot sales. Great engine, runs really well. Is that the new Super Detail one? If so, that is a good bargain. Really good bargain. I've got one in the London and South Western Railway livery, and it's a really lovely loco. James, oh, you've gone off the screen. Oh, dearie me. Right. Oh, I was trying to keep up with the comments. Oh. Right. James Carroll. Jenny, I just subscribed to Garden Rail through Pocket Mags, the e-zine version. Eyes are going. Yeah. You can make the text bigger on a computer or an e-reader. Just a thought. I like Transport. Hattons should do a modern OO and N Tamper. Yeah. Fly Mode Chairman 1. Oops, you've gone at this end. An error has occurred, apparently. Eastlinks, hello. We'll shut up now. I like Transport. Just about. Fly Mode Chairman 1, are you back? Is anybody else having trouble? I'm looking at the technological details, and we're still streaming in the green. We're still getting router traffic. So, yeah. I like Transport. Just found out. I'm assuming that Cato are producing an N-Gauge Class 800. Cato. Ricardo's Avocados. Oh, that's very millennial. Hey, Jen, hope you're well. Mark Rice, Jen, you have gone. Gonos 1259. Oh, you've gone off the top again. Mark Rice, Jen, you have gone. Gonos 1259. Nope, fine here. Dave Don, Mark, just log in again. Berry 120, worthless rubbish that appeals to vacuous people. It has to be the best quote I've heard in a while. Oh, vacuous. Now there's the word of the day. Come on, people. It's, as General Melchard would say, darling, vacuous. Write that down. We should use it more often in everyday conversation. Vacuous. It's not as dirty a word as crevice. Dirty word. Anyway, meanwhile, back on the ranch. But yeah, I mean, don't you? I mean, maybe they're not really aimed at the same audience that's here tonight. But yeah, I hate those sort of like prank videos. It's like, oh yeah, we pretended to destroy John's car, and then we had a great laugh, LOL, or we went and rode bicycles around a supermarket because we're penis heads. Right, anyway. Fly Mode Chairman 1. Channel refreshed and back again. Boom. Welcome back. Mark Herbert, thanks Jenny. I'd love to be in a team on GMRC. Might apply for Series 3. Certainly, yeah. What I will tell you is that they'll start thinking about Series 3 very shortly. Literally, Series 2 started work on that, I think it was probably around January. So you're talking quite a few months in advance. So essentially, start making inquiries before Christmas would be my advice on that. The Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout. Yes, the quality of N-gauge rolling stock is now more or less on a par with OO. Yeah, certainly. James Pets, no errors here. Yeah, I think some people maybe your contention rate. Yeah, contention. Excuse me. That's another good word. We should use that more often in everyday conversation. Or do what I can remember many years ago. God, like nearly 30 years ago at school, we used to have competitions between me and some friends. Like, we need to get the German teacher to use washing machine, but not realise they're being baited to use washing machine. And you'd be going like, so what do German people use to wash their clothes in? A washing machine. Well, what's that in German? Can't remember what the that was a bad choice. Or like the history teacher. So what did Anglo-Saxons use to clean their clothes? Well, they washed them in the river. Well, didn't they have anything better? No, they didn't have washing machines. And everybody would be like, bingo! Brockwell Lane, yes, had to refresh. Addy Pullen, I got an error too. Oh, how strange. Game Hammer Classic Gaming, the stream is working fine over here. Yeah, I think some people just refresh or re-log in. You'd be grand. Mark, it does have a fully painted cab interior. Pretty much all models do now. Actually, the quality of some of the new models coming through, the cab detail in particular. Now, the Rails Terrier, I did do a video. You can go back and have a look at that. Comparing the Rails stroke Dapol Terrier to the Hornby one, and the cab detail on the Rails one really is exquisite. Gary Cox had YouTube error but reopened stream okay. Strange. Otis JB, although having a relatively small channel is lovely for the Monday Club, as you actually get heard and it feels really homely and friendly. Yeah, you can imagine if there's like 10,000 people watching this, I'd never have a chance to keep up with the comments. Ricardo's Avocados, what are you drinking? Alcoholic one, I hope. Yep, this is Strongbow Dark Fruits. That is the tipple of choice. I'm on my second. I am a lightweight, as regular viewers of the Jenny Monday Club would know. And, yeah, it's definitely Monday Club. I have the merchandise. You can get onto Teespring and you can buy yourself the lovely mugs and other assorted merchandise. Yeah, I've just seen that comment. Going as 12:59. Lots of Wallies on YouTube. Yeah, too right. Unfortunately, whenever anything becomes commercial and YouTube started giving the option to monetize, gets flooded with spam and rubbish and lots of people stealing other people's videos and re-uploading it. And what annoys me... Oh, God. We're on my soapbox now. Before you know it, I'll be going on about people who hog the middle lane and push in and queues. But yeah, people, like, they put up copyrighted material, like they nick an entire episode of Open All Hours. They put up like no copyright infringement intended. It's like, well, if you didn't intend to infringe copyright, why are you pirating somebody else's stuff and passing it off on your own channel? East Lancs Hell, my daughter just gave me nice hot tomato soup. Boom! Good Heinz. I love Heinz cream of tomato soup. East Lancs Hell. I have idea. I think I may apply to GMRC. Never get in, but never know. No, you never know. Right. Now, what you got to remember with the GMRC is it isn't necessarily about being the world's greatest modeler. It's about being an interesting bunch of people. Now, you're not making a model railway, and this is something you have to get your mindset in. And the teams that did the best actually had this mindset, and it was very important. You were making a prop for a TV show to appeal to people who aren't necessarily railway modelers. And as long as you keep that in mind, and you've got to be a great bunch of people who get on well, have this team dynamic, and just be interesting people. People don't want people to go, I make model railways, I do, and I like eating beans. Oh, excuse me, I told you about the beans. You know what I mean? It's like they want somebody who is like interesting on TV. And I think you're interested. You own real locomotives. There's a lot of scope there. So, look, boom. Just put together some kind of East Lancs house team or something. Rock the juice box. I think it would be an interesting team. The Secret Smokers Club or something, call yourself. And just be all like the Steam Boys from East Lancs Railway. Something like that. Anyway, yeah, take that one for free. But yeah, East Lancs Hell, go for it. James Carroll, text okay here, but you're talking Chinese, I guess, lagging a bit. Yeah, there's a few people having a bit of issues. Hopefully we're back on. Oh, right, I like transport. Viaduct Central Model Railway on 53 subscribers. We're doing quite well here, wanging you. What did you start out with? You haven't told me how many subs you had at the start of this live stream. I'm just curious how much of an effect I've had. Flymo Chairman 1, Teespring mug is on the way as of the email of 12th of the 8th, 19. Well done. Thank you very much, Flymo Chairman. Don't forget, you too can get your fabulous Jenny Monday Club mug and pour your tipple of choice into it. Not just good for tea and coffee. You can fill it up with hardcore liquor and get absolutely plastered. But also, every time you buy a merchandise mug or, I don't know what else we've got on there, or indeed, every time you buy one of my books, you're helping to support the channel and to stave off the day that I have to go back to work and do a boring day job. I really wish I could do this full time. I'm very drunk, you know. I don't know whether it shows. Oh, Viaduct Central Model Railway. I started at 40, Jenny. Boom! So I've got you 13 subs so far. Dave Don, Jen, you sound like my old English teacher. Yeah, actually, that it's an interesting time. We're straying a bit from trains. I know some people get a bit annoyed if I stray too much away from trains, but there was always some teachers who were mad as cheese, weren't they? And actually, they're the ones you remember, not just the teacher, but you remember the lessons. I had it was a maths teacher, and he was mad as cheese. And I still remember a lot of maths. I can still integrate and differentiate and solve quadratic equations simply because he made the lessons so enjoyable. I had a history teacher as well. I didn't get on with him. He wasn't necessarily a nice person, and he did bully me. So going back a long way, his name was Casper. So actually, he probably got bullied a lot at school as well. But he was mad as cheese, absolutely mad as cheese. And I do, as a result, remember an awful lot about the Vikings because I had him as a teacher, and it's very memorable. And, you know, the flip side of that is that for a year I had a German teacher who was instantly forgettable. And actually I learnt nothing that year. The Growler Blackwood N-gauge layer, interesting on TV. Oh, well, that rules me out. No, don't do yourself down. You know, some of the most interesting people on TV, you know, just about being a full-rounded individual, not playing to the cameras, but, you know, just, I don't know, being yourself. You got other hobbies, haven't you? Have you? See, I've got a lot of my other hobbies I studiously avoid talking about. Not because they're like naughty or anything, but just because completely different circles. I used to do live action role play, historical reenactment and stuff like that. Gary Cox could do with a pint mug. Oh, I shall put that suggestion through. East Lancs Hell, my team, the autistic idiots who go on about Blackadder and just be upbeat and very nice layout and prop. Actually, don't knock it. You know, a lot of people are on the spectrum, myself included, and you know, it doesn't make us any less of people. And you know, sometimes a lot of autistic people are really interesting because we become like a sponge for facts. You may have noticed that I trot out big words like vacuous and nebulous and flocky pocky nihilipilification, and in part it's because I soak all this stuff up. You know, all my little bits of knowledge and random information is because I'm on the spectrum somewhere. Yeah, beer mugs. We'll look into that. Dovens GWR. I'm planning to visit the Dorset Steam Rally next year. Oh, the Great Dorset. I've never been, but I would love to. It has to be said. James Pets. I've never thought of cheese as being particularly mad. Well, I don't know. Yarg is particularly mad. It's like, yarg, yarg. The yarg delivery has arrived. It's like a cheese for pirates. James Pets, incidentally, have you any views on multi-guise layouts? Are these layouts that can be used for like multi-periods, I presume? Very much for it. I've got stuff rolling stock from pre-grouping all the way up to sort of like very early 1990s So I sometimes just swap out all the stock and change period. It's a very good way of having a bigger collection and being able to justify it. There we are. See how I very, very studiously, that's another good word, slipped back on topic. Yes. By opining, there's an unusual word, which opinion is a derivative from, that there are ways to justify a larger model collection. You've got me going here, and I am well drunk. I'm just looking at an hour and a half. Gosh, I should try and get to 2 hours. I'm just looking. The loft is calling me, as are the other 2 of these in the fridge. So Zoe, if you're still watching, bring another one up. Let's go for it. In for a penny, in for a pound. Right. Anywho, Leslie Gilpin rules me out too. When I worked, I could ad-lib to audience, no problems, but sat in front of my webcam, I sound like the boring priest in the Father Ted lingerie department episode. I have a voice so boring, I could put everybody to sleep. It wasn't Father Stone. No. See, right, a little tip for you is that talking... don't try and think, look, I've got to entertain people. And it's something I used to work for the BBC a long time ago. I did commercial radio as well. I am the morning DJ on WRAB. I was like the fill-in DJ for a lot of things. I did broadcast assistant work as well, and I worked as a researcher for a journalist. But what I was taught from some of the greatest broadcasters of the... Oh, hark, she was listening. And what I was taught is that never think about the audience. What you actually...
request was heard.
It was received. So, boom!
I'm thinking of ordering pizza. Do you know?
Pizza, I am drunk. No doner meat because it keeps making me ill.
Okay.
Apparently we're getting takeaway pizza. Boom! Yes, Warrington Train Spotter 2778. Zoe is very well. She's about to order pizza takeout. Oh, God, I'm drunk. Anywho, the secret is you imagine you're talking to somebody that you know very, very well, and you're talking to them, not at them, but to them. And it's why the best DJs are the ones that are very personable, and it feels like they're talking to you. They become like a surrogate best friend. So like people like Ken Bruce on Radio 2, the reason he's one of the most successful broadcasters at the moment is because he connects with you. You know, he's very personable, and he makes you feel like he's interacting with you. And that's the secret about it. And when I'm sat here, you've got to remember I've got decades of experience of talking to microphones, and it's going to make a hideous noise now, but here's the microphone. So you kind of, when I first started, there is a TV interview of me that I did for Grenada. No, it wasn't Grenada Tonight. It was Fred Talbot did a thing where he, the kiddie fiddler. We didn't know back then, but I did a thing with him, and it was to do with they came and they filmed with my father's steam traction engine, and I taught him to drive it. And then when they came to do the more general pieces to camera, they filmed him driving it, bish bash bosh, and then he tried to interview me, and I was like a rabbit in car headlights. Because, they put this camera in my face and I just couldn't cope. And that was my first ever TV interview. But subsequently, you get more and more at ease. It's like everything. The more you practice, the better you get at it. And, you just imagine you're talking to somebody very close to you, like a friend, a close friend or a relative. And it's like you're just talking to them. And that's the secret. So just... don't focus on the fact you're talking at a camera, because you're not. You're talking, even if it's just, you're talking to either the producer who stood alongside the camera or the camera operative. When I did Biggest Little Railway, the person I'm actually talking to, in a way, is I'm actually talking to the left ear of the camera operator. And I'm imagining I'm talking to them. You just have to focus on their ear, but imagine you're talking to them, because they're the one asking you the questions when we did that. And that's the secret of doing it. Right, anywho. It's just jumped. I like transport. One of my local bus drivers goes mad as cheese when he's having a bad day, most days. Well, yeah, bus drivers, they have to contend with other drivers. Scourge of the roads. Anybody else? How dare they get in my way when I've got somewhere to go? Hunts Heath Model Railway. Mr. Lawrence, art teacher with red trousers. You'll never make anything of your life, Hunt. Yeah, it's funny that actually. I had actually no my the English teacher I had for my GCSE years was very, very supportive. But I had an English teacher prior to them who always said that my spelling and punctuation and grammar was rubbish. That you better never have a job where you have to write stuff because your writing is terrible. I write scripts and magazine articles and books for a living. Boom! I showed them. But yeah, I took great delight actually on a school 10-year reunion. That teacher was there, and I had some of my books that had just recently been published. I had a box of them in the boot of my car for just such occasions, and I gave him a copy of one of my best-selling books that at the time was on a list of top 50 sci-fi novels published in the month of when I can't remember which month it was, and I was on the list at something like number 34, and boom, gave him a copy of my book. Flymo Chairman 1, I pinged over at 42 subs. I will never forget our music teacher, Miss Mackenzie. Actually, we had Miss Garner as a music teacher, and I remember she always used to wear very floppy, like summer dresses and no bra. And all the boys in the class were very much in love with her because she had this habit of leaning over the grand piano to grab stacks of music and stuff, and wondered why all the boys were like, doing, eyes out on stalks, and it's like, miss, wear a bra. Brockwell Lane, I'd buy a beer mug. I want, Gamehammer Classic Gaming. Smart ass Zoe. Everyone's on the spectrum, otherwise it wouldn't be a spectrum. Yeah, but some of us are a bit further along it than others. Zoe, beer mugs, CFT Spring will do those. I think that might go down pretty well. The Growler Blackwood engagement, Leslie Gilpin, good comment, raised a smile. Leslie Gilpin, which comment? Which one? Like I said, it's just practice. I like transport. I think people are more likely to become a rail enthusiast if they're autistic. I am autistic too. I think a lot of us are, and it's what I've noticed. I've never had a diagnosis, but it's actually when I did Biggest Little Railway. There was quite a few autistic people did that, and great people, got on really well with them. And I guess if somebody's well along the spectrum, they're more tuned in to being able to spot it in others. And I got told independently by a couple of people, asked, like, so you're on the spectrum as well? And it was like I'd never really considered it, but when people pointed this out, it made a lot of things make sense. And I think in some respects, being diagnosed, I haven't been diagnosed, but to work out that you're somewhere on the autistic spectrum, it's not that you get treatment for it. I don't need treatment for it. I'm mad as cheese, and I'm happy at that. I function in society. I do all right for myself. But it actually makes certain things make a lot more sense. It's the peace of mind that you're not weird. It's just, it's just the way my brain's wired. It's just jumped again. Flymo Chairman 1, hello the Irish train guy. Gaelic, I'm not going to even try pronouncing that. It looks like Goomaith to me, but I know it probably isn't. Brockwell Lane, I wish I had someone off screen to hand me booze. Flymo Chairman 1, me too. Planning, have them handy. You need a little fridge by the side of your chair. Warrington Train Spotter 2778, pizza. Domino's is the best we had. A Hawaiian for our tea. Funnily enough, when we filmed Great Model Railway Challenge, there was quite a few occasions where they sent out to Domino's, and there would just be like 30 pizzas would turn up, and you just help yourself. That was quite nice, but we have a place here called Donna 24, and they're pretty good. That will be where the pizza, when it turns up, will be coming from. Dave Don, yeah, me too. Fly through the air, yeah, levitating beers. Otis JB, speaking of multi-guise layouts, one of my all-time favourite videos of yours is when you backdate your exhibition layout. Oh, thank you very much. Great tips, enjoyable and really well filmed, almost as good as the Monday Club. Thank you very much. Yes, Grove Street Yard, I showed how to simply backdate that model to, things to look out for, very simple changes to make it suitable for an earlier period. Brockwell Lane, your dad had a traction engine? Cool, what sort? Actually, it was he built it himself, He's built 3. It's 1/3 size, which is still about the size of a Mini Cooper. But it's a Garrett, a 1909 Garrett steam tractor. He's also built an Alfred Dodman, and he's now building a second Garrett steam tractor. Same design as the first one that he sold. He only ever at most he has 2 at the same time, so there tends to be a bit of an overlap between the 2. But he sold the Alfred Dodman early, as it were, so he doesn't have a fully working one at the moment. But he does have, and I did do a Jenny Cam video where I went and I took a look in his workshop and interviewed him a little bit about it. He's one of these people. He's very talkative until you poke a camera at him, and then all of a sudden he clams up. But yeah. So it was like a miniature traction engine, but we filmed, it'd be about 1999, 2000, something like that. Filmed with Fred Talbot for a thing that he did for Granada at the time. He used to go around with a little Messerschmitt bubble car. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Going out to 12:59, hoping to get over to the East Lancs Railway after the school holidays finish. Yeah, we need to organise a meetup. Actually, I think the East Lancs Railway might be a good place for a Monday Club meetup. But we probably need to do it on a Sunday to make sure that A, the East Lancs is open, and B, that the most number of people can make it. We'll go and do the Weatherspoons for lunch, but we'll hang out at the East Lancs. Maybe, I want to call you Train Sporting South East, but you're not anymore. You changed your name. East Lancs Hell, that's it. If you can organise, well, sort of, maybe you can wrangle a private coach on the back of service trains, and I've got this. I am always very frightened if I organise a meetup that I'll end up being like Billy No Mate, sat in a carriage all on my own, like the posh gentleman in the Railway Children, and like, oh yes, well hello, in like in this their own private carriage. Who's that? Oh, I don't know. I think they farted or something. It's cleared the carriage. Right. It keeps jumping around. Let's have a look. Dovens GWR. I have a mate who failed his maths. Yeah, some people are. It's not dyslexia. It's dyscalculia, and can find maths very, very difficult. I'm not a natural mathematician, but I did work very hard on it. I've got A-level maths at grade B. But I had to really work hard on that, it has to be said. But yeah, some people, my nephew Zach, who sometimes pops in, I know he struggles with maths. It's just sometimes some people find it very, very difficult. Dave Don, chocolate. Actually, I loved Galaxy chocolate. It's on offer in the supermarket down the road at the moment. It's very dangerous. I like transport. By the way, Fort Murray can also be known as Platform 26. Different studio, but ended up working with BR. I think I've missed some comments. Sorry about that. Otis JB, you mentioned Terriers earlier. I feel like Rail's got a raw deal. They clearly have a better model, but have lost most of the market to Hornby. I will be getting Hornbys just because of the price. Yeah, I know. I've got a Hornby one. I would love a Rails one, but they're just not quite ready. It's like I've said many times before. First to the market forgives a lot of sins, and Hornby, I think they learnt a lot from Hornby versus Oxford Rail with the Adams Radial. The Oxford Rail one was cheaper, wasn't as well detailed, but it got to the market a lot sooner, and it just wiped the floor with the Hornby model, because being second to the market doesn't work, unfortunately, no matter how good your model is. It's a sad, sad fact of life. And I did do an exclusive review. I was, I think I'm probably one of the only people who's done a full-on comparison review. Have a look for it on my channel, share it, let everybody know. Let's see if we can wang that, get it over 1 million views. God, I'm drunk. But yeah, it is the superior model. There's a lot of aspects of the Rails stroke Dapol Terrier that are far superior to the Hornby one, but the Hornby one's on the market and the Rails one isn't. And unfortunately, that sells a lot of models. Number 3. Getting through this. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. So, can you have too many models? No, you can just merely not have enough space to put them in. I think that's the problem. And in terms of commercial release, I think sooner or later everything can be commercially justified. It's just a case of the right time for the model. Gonads 1259. School headmistress said my sister would never be a nurse. She became one of the youngest ward sisters at the local hospital and became matron at an Isle of Man hospital. What do teachers know? Yeah, I remember when I was at junior school, my first year juniors teacher said, "Oh, Jenny can't spell for toffee, but she's very intelligent, so she'll probably go on and end up having a secretary or something who will deal with all of that." That never happened. I'm still waiting for my own sexy secretary. But instead I've got a Zoe. I think I've got a good deal there. Ham Shackleton, hi to you. Autism, after watching Stephen Hawker's vid a couple of months ago, that's me too. I know, there's a lot more people I think are on the spectrum than realise it. I was one too. I mean, I was late 30s when it was pointed out to me, and it made things make a lot more sense. And I think for me, working out that you're autistic to some degree, it's not about, I don't think there's any way really you can treat it. If it's never been picked up before, what it actually does is it makes a lot of things make more sense, and it's that peace of mind thing that, I'm not weird, it's just, this is the way my brain is wired to think. And for me, it solved a lot of questions that had been left waiting in my head, like, why do I do this? I like transport, well said. No, you can't have enough, definitely. Leslie Gilpin, I worked out more recently about it. My personality makes sense now. Exactly, that is exactly how it was with me. I'm 40. I found out when I was 38, 39. So yeah, it helps things make sense, and that actually is worth its weight in gold. Warrington Train Spotter 2778. I got into rowers back. Oh, we've got another jump. Gosh, I've been wittering on, and I was up to date, and now I'm not. I got into rowers back. I enjoyed it, and I didn't find going out nightclubbing appealing. Call me sad, but hey, see, when I was a teenager, I was at university. I did go out nightclubbing, but afterwards, I realised, you know what? I prefer to stay at home and do like creative hobbies. And for me, it's creativity. And it's not just model railways. I love building model railways far more than I like running them. It's a sad fact. And actually, somebody did ask, and it jumped around, and I missed your comment. So there's nothing out in the shed. Just before I forget, I forget who asked it. The shed, the railway's cleared out. I've taken the track up, building it. Everything is gone. I've even recycled some of the baseboards, used the wood, and what's left now is a workbench. The baseboards from where the station was and the junctions where it went outside, those baseboards are still there, stripped down. Even the ballast has been stripped off, scraped them with a paint scraper and hot water to get the ballast up, and that is now my workbench. And I'll be doing car restoration-y stuff in there. But yeah, for me, I've just found it's creativity. I love building the model. Once the model is finished, I'm bored with it. And it's why I had no compunction to, another good word there, write it down, use it more often in everyday conversation. I had no compunction to actually ripping up and scrapping Bolton Trinity Road. Zoe said, like, won't you miss it? And it's like, no, because I've got this new project. I'm building something again, and that's what I love. But it's not just model railways. I love creating things. I do a lot of DIY. I'm very artistic. I write books. I would paint pictures if I could paint, but I can about to stick people. Art doesn't come naturally to me. I can draw pictures. I can paint in watercolors, but it's so hard work for me. It ceases being enjoyable, so I tend not to. I just love creating things. It's just just me, I suppose. Ham Shackleton, can you have too many models? Of course not, unless you have more models than space. That's what I said. Is you can't have too many models. You can just merely have a problem with not enough space. Mark Herbert, now out walking the dog and watching from a field in North Wales. Boom! Yes, Jenny Kirk's Monday Club coming in your ears wherever you are. East Lancs Hell. My brain is sponge for information for trains and planes and history and geography. My teachers hated me because I will always, it looks like crochet them. Then pub quiz, and I'm autistic. Yeah, for me, I was always very good at Trivial Pursuit. That's probably because if you're like a demon at Trivial Pursuit, for like random facts. People go, "How do you know that?" And it's like I heard it one time and it stuck there. It would be lovely to have a dad who likes trains. Mine is plain mad. Well, you see, my father, he kind of likes trains. He's not trains mad. For my father, military stuff. So he really likes like warships, that kind of thing. But he also model engineering, so he's building these steam traction engines. Really does like that. But he does kind of like model trains, but more from, play with Hornby 00, but he doesn't make models. Never did make model trains, but he did scratch build model battleships out of like paper clips, glue, card, that kind of thing. Really, really talented at doing it, but just didn't want to build scenery, I guess. James Carroll, Jenny, you aren't your merch linked to your channel here on YouTube. Right. From what I gather, you need to be over 10,000 subs to be able to do that. I've seen it on Sam's Trains channel, and he's got more than 10,000 subs, so he can do that. When I hit 10,000 subs, hint, hint, get all your friends to subscribe to me. Let's see if we can wang me up to 10,000. Been wanging everybody else. Tell everybody you know to subscribe to the channel, because some great videos going on here. But basically, when you hit 10,000 subscribers, you get extra privileges, one of which is you can link to your merchandise channel. I can't do that because I'm just under 8,000. So, yeah, you just have to wang me. Get everybody you know to sub. East Lancs Hell, get everybody at the East Lancs Railway to subscribe to me. You know you want to. Dovans GWR, get everybody at the Gwilly Railway to subscribe to me. You know you want to. But yeah, there's certain I want to say roadmaps, not roadmaps, like checkpoints when you build up subscribers on YouTube. I suppose the big one that most people notice is getting monetized, which needs 1,000 subs and a certain number of hours of video watched. But then you get above that and you get the like live streams. Actually, it used to be. I don't know whether it still is. Actually, whether you can you need a certain number of subs and stuff to do live streams. But then there's other things like editing packages, being able to upload longer videos. There's other things that come at different checkpoints, as it were. And at 10,000 subs, that's one of the extra things you get. Berry 120. I think we've agreed that the maximum number of models you're allowed is half your age plus 7. Your age, however, is allowed to be like whatever you like. Yeah, I was just thinking. Otherwise, that'd be 27. I'm way above that. I think I'm 1,000 years old in pent-up cynicism. Cynicism, that's a good word. Write that down. We must use that more often. Good evening to you, Dan James. Berry 120. I like transport. Sorry, redacted the last message as I wrote it the wrong way round. Berry 120. Make it 3 times your age and add infinity. Yeah, that sounds about right. Huntsheath Model Railway. Thank you, Jenny. It's been fun watching you. Have a few. Got to shoot. My layout needs lots of TLC. Well, what you should do is actually do what I do, which is have a computer and an internet connection in your model railway room. Oh, it's jumped again. Oh, I like transport. Please stop saying boom. I sound like Basil Brush. Sorry, I'm just like I'm trying to be hip and with it and getting down with the kids. You're going to say stop saying down with the kids as well. Oh dear. Let's have a look. Oh, right, there we are. Right. Viaduct Central Model Railway. Bye to you. Sorry, it's been great having you along. Glad we could wang your channel, and don't forget to tune in next Monday from 7 o'clock. I think we're still on British summertime. Luckily, the clocks go back or forwards on a Sunday, which is actually a day that it doesn't really matter if I don't notice. But my phone, Siri on my phone, does tend to notice. Oh, she hasn't perked up. That's normally she does and goes, oh, tell me what you want. Excuse me. East Lancs Hell, Jenny, I cannot do that, but I will try to, but I'll see what I can do. No promises. Yeah, maybe we'll just all meet up at the station, hang out in the cafe or the pub or something. But yeah, look, don't worry about it. I know they'll probably say, yeah, you can have a gold-plated Rolls Royce if you pay for it. I've still got visions of me just sat on my own in a coach. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. I used to struggle with maths, then I worked out a load of coping mechanisms that made it easier. Still not super fast on it, but I can do maths in my head now. Yeah, it's things like times tables. I've got little things that work it out in my head. I actually division and multiplication. I can't divide or multiply. What I actually do is I add up or do subtractions very, very quickly is how I do them. And I don't know, maybe that makes me a genius. I don't know. I do have I think it's a 146 IQ when it was tested. So make of that what you will. But don't actually confuse IQ with how intelligent a person is. They're not the same thing. James Petch, there's nothing wrong with being weird. All the best people are weird. Yeah, they do say that there's a fine line between creativity and madness. Otis JB, my working out moment has been this stream. I never thought about it before, but things are starting to make sense. I completely agree with you. I have some great friends, but most of the time I prefer to stay inside and model. Yeah, it's one of those things. I think a lot more people are somewhere on the spectrum that they may realise. And actually, for a lot of people, it doesn't really matter. But it just kind of answers a few questions. You go, oh, that makes sense now. And you just move on and get on with your life. You know, at the end of the day, you've already got your coping mechanisms. You're already functioning in society. You've got your way of everything's fine, everything's grand, and you're happy. And that's fine. You don't even need a proper formal diagnosis because what's it going to achieve? You know, you've already, you're cool in your head. You've worked things out. The Growler Blackwood Engage layout. Cheers, Mark Herbert, for subbing to Blackwood Engage layout. Woohoo! Yeah, grand. Oh, the pizza's here, so I'm going to have to go in a moment. Gordon Adam, do you know Kathy Miller and do you exchange ideas? Love you to bits. Trying to catch up with a drink on my second glass of wine now. Right. Kathy Miller, I know in passing. I do subscribe to her channel, and I believe she may subscribe to mine. What I do know is that she does catch probably some of my videos because some of her themes have tagged what they followed on from. I've done themes on things, and then lo and behold, within a week, she's done a video on the same thing. So yeah, met her a few times, yeah. Mark Rice, hi, how's the O-Gauge outside doing? Pretty good, not run it for a while. Ben Davis, hi, I've on order some of the new Dapol O-Gauge Bogey Bolster E-Wagons. Yeah, from Hattons, can't wait to get them. I just bought one today. Yeah, I know, waft. Let's just show the people. The pizza has arrived, which means I've got to go. So I'm going to very, very quickly try and work through these.
Mr. Pizza Boxes, bye-bye.
Yeah, okay, come on. Right. Warrington Train Spotter 2778, you naughty boy. Boom. Susie Scott, hello, was napping. Well, I've sold the models I had to another collector, all buses, coaches, I guess, bus, train titles, etc. My substitute, I can never have too many. That and footy. Look, I'm going to have to scan through. Right, look, anyway. I'm going to have to go. I'm really sorry about this. The pizza has arrived. I'm very drunk, so I need the food to soak up the alcohol. But it's been great to have all of you's company. Really, thank you for joining me. It's always great to have this Monday Club video. And don't forget to join me next Monday. And in the meantime, get all your friends to sub to the channel. I need to get over 10,000 subs so I can then put the merch store on. And I will explain to Zoe that we need the pint mugs. We'll see if Teespring can do those. But yeah, Ben Davis, I will be doing a review of the Bogey Bolster E-Wagons. I bought one today specifically with that in mind. So yeah, basically you all take really good care of yourself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also check out the other videos on the channel. Hopefully we'll be having, I think it's the Drummond Class 700 review, plus more importantly a DCC fitting guide on Wednesday. We'll be having some more updates from the loft. I may even do, actually no, I've already filmed Friday's video. So Friday's video is already filmed, but then I will probably film the following Friday's video, and I'm looking to do a how-to video as part of the progress in the loft of adding a pond stroke marshy area. I've got some bulrushes again. I know it's not Nock, Prizer or Fowler, but it's a continental company, and they look really nice. So I really want to do a review of using them to make a sort of wet marshy area. I've got the perfect place on Weir Yard, so stick with me, and it'll be great to be able to show you all of that. But until then, you all take really good care of yourself, and don't forget you can also support the channel through Patreon. And until next time, take great care. I'm going to go and scoff pizzas. So just my brain's going booze, very drunk. I think some people probably just tune in to see me slowly get drunker and drunker. Anyway, look, you take care. Bye for now.